Good morning. Welcome to part 2 of this CROSLEY American Overseas Model 66 TC radio. We have got, let me get you in the macro here, kind of a sloppy job. I can't help it. We've got in here, let me use my finger because it's safer than sticking metal in here. We got a 47 microfarad 100 volt instead of a 20 microfarad or 22 microfarad. Turn this volume down. Anything I hate is somebody talking with a radio going. So what we've got here is, as suggested, and I hate to use all my resistors up because like I got packages of 10 and I don't want to have to order more. So yes, I could parallel 3 1,000 ohm resistors to get to 33, and that's exactly what I did. But instead of using the 1 watt ones, I used half watt because this is all the 1 watts I've got here. So I got 3 half watts in parallel. That gives me watt and a half, and it's just barely warm. I've got 7 volts across the cathode resistor. However, let me turn the radio back on. This is WCBS, but it's all kinds of noise, and this light here produces a lot of racket with this thing here. So if I turn the bypass off, and I'm probably out of focus again. You can hear how much louder it is when I take it off the dim bulb. You can see we're up to 15 volts across the cathode resistor. Not a problem for the cap because the cap is rated at 100 and you only need 25 volts here. But we're running 15 volts now across. There's a 15 volt voltage drop, across this, what is now a 330 ohm resistor. There is 3 1,000 ohm resistors in parallel. Yes, I had thought of doing that, but I really don't like to have a big glob of resistors where one will do. I just don't have it. But my workmanship is very, very sloppy anyways. I had to hook in here because I didn't want to risk having the little hook come off of the tube socket. This here capacitor is in a 0047 that goes to one terminal of the speaker connector, and the other end goes to the cathode. So it's a bypass capacitor that would prevent any oscillation in the audio output tube. That's why a lot of times you'll find a small value cap like 001 or even a 0001, 005, something in that order, from the plate of your audio output tube to ground, or sometimes in this case from the plate, from the cathode to whatever this pin is here. I don't have the schematic in front of me. So there's a 1,000 ohm resistor. You can't see it. It's behind the, right where my finger is, right behind this yellow cap. It's exactly 1,000, so I don't need to change that. That looks like a 2 watter, but it could be a 1 watter. And I got my hand on those resistors, and they're lukewarm. So I think we'll probably be all right with it. And we're running 15.3 volts on the cathode of the audio output tube. All right, we've got this capacitor in. We hooked and pinched in here, and we managed to get it onto this terminal because I had a hole in it. We just put it in and soldered it in, not a problem there. Okay, this is a 33,000 ohm resistor, orange, orange, orange. It reads 38. I'm not going to be able to get down here without pulling the control. I'm not doing that. These wires are petrified. The insulation is petrified. There's this damn crappy rubber wire. I don't want to break it. It was a little hairy working in here as it is. So I'm reading 38,000 versus, I don't know what the percentage is. It's probably 20% or more out. I don't know. It's the tone control. So we are not going to deal with that. It's in an area where I can't get at it. So good enough. We're going to replace this now and these here. And we're okay here. Before we go further, we'll check these two resistors here. 3 resistors here. These are tied together, not by me. Alright, there's a resistor here, there's a resistor here, and then there's a, I think there's a red petrified wire right there. So I'm going to try to read them. I'm going to have to run in the house and look on this computer, see if I can find these. This looks like a brown, black, and yellow. I have to look on my cheat card there. Brown, black, and yellow. Let me look it up on my good old dependable resistor guide here. I'll be back after I check these out and give you a report on those and this one here. And I have a feeling that these are going to be way out. But if they're out a little bit, I'm not going to worry about it because they're not going to be easy for me to change. Okay, green, black, green, supposed to be 5 meg. I looked up on my cheat chart. It reads 6.1. These two here read within spec. Brown, black, and yellow, 100,000 I believe. It reads 90,000. If my math is correct, that should be within 10%. This one reads pretty close also. So we are not going to deal with that if it's off because it's in a bad area with this wire here, which goes into, I believe it goes into the IF can, I'm not sure. Yes, it goes into the IF can. It's one of these petrified rubber coated wires, and it connects to the junction of these two resistors right here. So we're not going to deal with that. So this reads, supposed to be 100,000, it reads 90, and this one reads pretty close. I don't recall the reading on it now, but it was in spec. We're going to check this one over here now. I think that might be the, yeah, it goes to ground over here. So that's probably the grid resistor, which is yellow, purple, yellow. That code I always remember, 470,000 ohms. Let's see what that reads. Okay, that reads 526. So, I think we're close enough for government work. Let's see. That don't appear to have a band on it. Yellow, purple, yellow, 470,000 ohms reads over 500. Yeah, it's within 20%. That's a 20% resistor. No band on it. A lot of these resistors, they don't have a band on them, so they're 20%, so we're fine. Okay, let's just make sure before we move up the chassis here. We'll test this resistor. Make sure don't have any hidden resistors here. Okay, I'm going to test this. I'll be right back. 2 oranges and a yellow, 330,000 ohms. It read 333,000. So we're very good with this one. Okay, all right, next step, we're going to replace these 3 capacitors right here. And when I get done with that, we'll be back on. Okay, these are 0.05s or 047s now. I got those in. I got them connected hook and pinch to the chassis here, where they both were connected at that end. I replaced this. A little heat shrink in here. I had to tack it in here because I couldn't clear the hole. And I'm working with 2 very petrified rubber coated wire. So we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 caps in here, not counting the electrolytics. Well, the resistors are within spec. I did not check this resistor yet. I will. And then we go up here and we will replace this. Not sure what it is. Can't read it at all. I will need lots of magnification on that and probably clean that off a little bit and find out what that is. I believe this is the rectifier tube here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay. So I would probably say that's a line bypass. We've got a small resistor here, but it's on the coil. I'm not even going to worry about that. Not going to worry about it at all. Got a resistor down there. I'm not going to worry about that because if it's bad, I can't get in there to change it. You know. But I'm very glad there isn't a lot of caps in here buried. Relatively easy, even for me, to recap. Of course, the only way I can do it is to put a hook in each end and do it. As I said so many times before, that is the only way. It's the best way, too, by the way. Unless you're building something from scratch, it's brand new, then, of course, you want to use the, wire it properly into the tube socket. But, you don't want to risk doing that. There's too many times you can ruin a tube socket, So this is the way I do it. And, well, if you don't like it, that's too bad. What can I tell you, folks? But that's it. As long as the radio works and it looks fairly neat. It isn't a neat job. But let's get up there and find out what that cap is right there. I'll let you know. And whatever it is, we're going to replace it. Apparently, it's a line bypass cap. I just cut it off close to the body, put a little hook in there. It went from here to ground, and this wire here, this black wire, goes into the transformer. So that is a line bypass cap. Here it is here. Let's see if we can get a little light down here, so maybe we can read the value. So we can put a safety cap in there. Oh. It is a 0.01. Alright, let me see if I got one of these here. These are the safety caps here. We'll look for a 0.01 and we'll be right back. Okay, so 0.01 Y2, which is line to ground. If it was an X, it would be across the line. It's only on one side of the line to the chassis. So we will replace it with one of these jobs. I got it in there. What a hell of a job getting it in there. A lot of solder ran down into the chassis and all over here. As far as I know, I think it's all right. Can't see what I'm doing. I have to carry the solder over on the iron, which is the wrong way to solder, but when my hands are full trying to see the magnifying and everything else, it's on there. Not a pretty job, but it's on there. Next step is, I guess, to try it out and see how it is here. I will examine this off camera. Solder beads here and there. Wouldn't be the first time things have shorted out and solder runs down into stuff. I can't work with the chassis, in other words, standing over the chassis. I have to sit down like this. Some guys can work standing up. I can't. Lower back kills me. All right, I think we're good. These wires here and the transformer are also the same crappy wire. These here are filament wires right here. And these are the high voltage wires. You start disturbing that and you have to take the whole transformer out and redo it. I don't even want to think about that. So, I'm going to check this resistor here. Off camera. And I think we're ready to turn it on and see what we got. What we're going to do is I'm going to put this radio through the variac and the amp meter instead of the, get you off a macro here, instead of running it through the dim bulb. That way I can see how many amps this thing is drawing. So we'll bring it up through that. That's the laminations. You can feel the vibration in the isolation transformer here. So, just down, put that up, and we'll crank up the voltage. To 57. Let's go stay with 65 volts for a bit here. We are still in a dead bulb situation. So that's a minor thing. We'll see what kind of bulbs these are. They could be 46s. I have no idea. Radio is on. And up to 83 volts. Our amp meter is not really moving much. It's 0.3 here. This here and this don't jive. I would believe that more than this, because this has got a little sensor unit and you got your wire going through the dead center of it. So it could be off a little bit. I've noticed that I get different readings here versus this. And this is an amp meter here, and I would kind of like believe that. All right, let's go to 100 volts. We're doing 400 mils. Which is okay. But nothing on the radio yet. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on phono.
Empowering members to drive their overall mission. AmericanEagle.com was able to create a digital strategy that integrated a broad range of management development and educational.
Let me turn that down. All right, we're at 100 volts. 118. 500 mils.
Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe.
My plate touch went out.
Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a
Hope
vacuum.
it's not giving me trouble. Okay, we're doing 500 mils. As you can see, it's way down at the bottom of the scale.
Sweeper Pet Kit.
I was kind of concerned about this radio drawing. I'll turn this volume down. Anything I hate is somebody fixing a radio and got the radio on and talking over it. I was kind of concerned about the fact that this dim bulb got brighter as the radio was running. It normally does it the other way around. It starts out bright, and then as the capacitors form up, it goes down. So I was worried about that, and we are at 117. Let's go to, we got 120 at the very most here. I don't think this radio is designed to be much over that. So let's keep it at 119. So we're running about 500 mils, half an amp. Okay. And
they are causing the most damage to the stock.
Transformers ice cold.
Also an energy sell-off as the Colonial Pipeline shutdown cuts off a major East Coast supply of car and jet fuel. Airlines, banks, malls, and mall stores are also cut up in the selling, and most of it can be traced to...
Now gas prices are up again. Gas prices are up again. They went up a nickel. So my prediction of by Memorial Day of, what did I say, $3.50 a gallon? That might be a little cutting it a little on the low side. And about $4.50 by July. I'm figuring it wouldn't be surprised if it's $5 a gallon by then. So if that's the case, we're not going to be driving too much locally. No special places or anything. All right. Let's turn this Hummy thing off, and we'll go and plug it back into the dim bulb, but we're going to bypass the dim bulb. We're right back, so I can work on the radio. All right. We're starting at the high end of the dial here. A lot of noise in the shop and the fluorescent, the LED lights.
This is what it says. Let sleeping dogs lie.
I got a big gain of audio when I replaced the electrolytic. What I put in the for electrolytic, and this will not harm your radio, as a matter of fact, it'll improve it, is the original cathode bypass for the 6V6 was a 20 microfarad at 25 volts. I put in a 47 microfarad at 100 volts. As long as any voltage over 25 is fine, but I've always increased the capacity of the cathode bypass capacitor if there was one. And if there wasn't one, I'd always added one, as long as it had a cathode resistor, of course. And it gave a 50% gain in audio, just doing that.
Israel has unleashed new airstrikes on Gaza. The Israeli Rescue Service says 2 women have been killed in the rocket attacks today. And CCSU held a vaccination clinic on campus yesterday for students. The positivity rate in the state, as of the last report, was 1.41%. Partly sunny today, high 60. I'm Jody Morris on WXLM.
There's a scientific magazine out there called Neat.
XLM, I don't know where that is.
May 11th, WCBS News Time, 10:31.
WCBS, of course I listen to that a lot in the car. Hey, PTIS, the weak station. That damn camera's making the interference. Hear it?
Allowing you to safely return to an opioid-free life. At Discovery House, we take a comprehensive treatment approach and address both the physical and emotional components of addictive behaviors. For more information, go to discoveryhouse.com or call the toll 334-3620. Tax refund time is a great time to replace your old fuel-wasting boiler. England Boiler Works, your boiler replacement.
I'm not going to be able to get in there. I'm not going to be able to get in there. Can't get my screwdriver in. I got a small screwdriver. This was pretty much on, so I'm going to say this one's on too. I think we're good. We're good.
You're right. It's killing the Yankees because the Yankees are no challenge for them.
Okay. Okay. See if that goes all the way over to the other side here. Yeah, pretty close.
Closing arguments painted as a duplicitous. Your home leaves you in debt. You won't know until a late. They know that most people will forget or misplace the form.
6 games with a day off.
You know, it's the structure. You know, every Monday. You also have right now Microsoft down 1.2%. The overall market's S&P 500, 65 points lower, down 1.6%.
Let's blast you out of the house now. Of course, the speaker's still restricted with that cardboard on there.
And the Dow Jones Industrial.
All right, I'm going to tell you what. This is going to conclude the video. The transformer's just barely warm. I just want to make sure that we are not having a problem with any shorter turns in the transformer.
At Commonwealth Financial Network, they have
When I put the electrolytics in, I remember on the video I had mentioned 450 volts. The highest one is 350, so I replaced 3 of the caps, the high voltage ones, with 450. That's fine. I've got them from Sal's, but they're an off-brand, but I did get them from Sal's, so they're not like a Nichicon or any of those. They're some off-brand. But I've never had problems with Sal's. I really like dealing with them. I haven't dealt with them in a while because my inventory is pretty good. And as you know, I have not been working on radios. This is the first one in a very long time. I got to get these bulbs and sockets out and replace those bulbs. Clean this up a little bit. What I'm going to do, and it's not going to be a part 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, is I'm going to glue up that cabinet the way I know how. I'm going to just keep it together, clean it up, and put the plastic back in after I clean it. I can't do nothing with the veneer. Like I say, I'm not keeping this radio. I just don't have any more room, period. But I like working on them, so, you know. I don't have any problem doing the cabinet and the gluing and stuff. I have to do it outside, of course. I've got the little corner blocks here that came out of the cabinet that I got to glue back in. There's a couple of them in there. I got to clean. There's still a lot of dust and dirt in the cabinet. I'll do that all outside. That alone might be a video, I don't know, but it's not connected with this series. So I think we're going to call this done. Can't test the shortwave. I did that last night because daytime you won't pick up anything.
A bunch of different ranches and things. And he liked buying up land, big pieces of land reaching out so far and wide. So Fish and Wildlife Service teaming up with Ladder Ranch for the project. The ranch has been involved over the years with captive breeding efforts for wolves and other endangered
You can
species.
feel the vibration from the transformer.
This time, a translocation of Mexican gray wolves has been done on private land. Today's
That's what everybody's looking for.
Yes.
Bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps
It's a tone control.
24 hours touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
So anyways, I will be making a video on the cabinet probably, but it's going to be a simple thing. It's not going to be like what you see on Buzz 1151, Ron C. in Florida, or Greg's Vintage Workshop, because those guys are professional when it comes to cabinet work. But I am able to do basic woodwork, and I can keep the thing from falling apart. It is in pretty bad shape. As far as the veneer, I cannot tackle that job, but I'm not going to keep the radio, as I keep saying. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the radio. I can't keep it. I don't have room for it. It'll only get stored in the big shed, and that's it.
Report that just came out. Welcome, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi.
Hi there. Open topic, yes.
Okay.
Hi.
The Biden administration keeps saying that the border is closed.
Huh.
He's lying. He's lying.
Damn right he is.
He's lying. All of his people are lying. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris should both go down to the border.
They won't.
A rancher on Sunday found 5 little girls, ages 7 to 11 months, abandoned on his ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he found them, or they would have died. I mean, the 11-month-old couldn't even walk. It's not even a walking. They were from Guatemala and Honduras. For those of you who do not believe this, because the mainstream media is not showing, go to Fox News. I understand that you don't like Fox News, but watch the pictures.
They have videos. They have...
The girl of the family crossing the Rio Grande with the kids dropping into the water, getting pulled up by their parents. There's dozens and hundreds of people. 900 crossed at one crossing on Sunday. 900 people. This is a closed border. Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, don't lie to the American people.
And I'm sick of it.
We're compassionate, but when you want to set up an open borders like he was talking about even before he was elected, you have to have some kind of a system. And obviously he did not have one, and this is causing complete chaos.
Right. You know, President Trump had a system.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Now, I mean, we don't know who's coming across that border.
That's right.
The 5 little kids, the 5 little girls. How can somebody, how can you allow people to just drive? I mean, these are not the first kids that have been left, abandoned. But 5 kids from 7 to 11 months old, a baby. And you know that their parents have paid to send them here. And they say, oh yeah, they got over the border. But who knows? I mean, there could be kids that have been dropped in other places where they haven't been found and they're dead.
Sure.
You know, I mean, luckily the rancher found them. I mean, these ranchers, they have thousands of acres. It's just luck that he found them before something happened. You know, fortunately the kids are safe. They're in custody. But they were left. And the drug cartels are coming over.
Yep. Damn right.
Just
Build that wall. Finish that wall.
There is no, the border is closed.
Yeah, right. Border's closed.
And as I said, anybody, You know, and I know...
Demon rats in Washington are liars.
Watch it. Watch them videoing these people coming across the Rio Grande. 52 in one group, they were coming from Venezuela. I feel for the people from Venezuela.
Of course.
They're going through hell in the socialist country of Venezuela. And I feel for them wanting to come over. But there are also people who have applied to come here that are still waiting. My son's father-in-law has been waiting for over 3 years for his chance to come over and visit his family.
Come in legally.
So why, you're allowing these others in. Criminals are being allowed in.
Yep.
And something's got to be done. And we just...
First of all, we have to. I'm going to have to break for the news, but we have to stop lying about these things.
That's right.
Honest. But so far, I haven't seen a lot of honesty.
I don't think they know if the truth get them in.
You will not get honesty in this administration.
Thanks for calling. Check in with us right after the news. We'll have another open forum from Personality Radio, 1310 WICH Norwich and 94.5 FM.
Okay, folks, that's it. Thanks for watching. And we'll probably do a little work on the cabinet. I'll let you know when that's going to be coming out. We got some running around to do today. Tommy's got his second COVID shot. Wife's got some doctor appointments. So that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching. This concludes part number 2 of the CROSLEY American Overseas Model 66 TC radio.